Sincerely, Tactless.
Am I the a-hole for quote unquote trying to upstage my sister at her wedding? Okay, so despite having some spats recently, I, a 26-year-old female, was recently invited to attend my sister, 31-year-old female's wedding. Now I'm not part of the bridal party or anything. I honestly don't think I'd want to be, but just going as a guest. The rules my sister laid out were that it can't be white and it has to be more formal type of dress, which I don't mind and agreed to the rules. I had the perfect dress in mind, which was one I wore to a friend's wedding about a year ago, which I still had held on to. Okay. For information, the dress is a floor length silvers dress with a leaf like design and not too flashy or anything. That actually kind of sounds nice. So, deciding it was better than spending more euros on a new dress, I opted to wear it. Frugal too. That's good. So, jumping to the day of the wedding, I show up in my dress with my boyfriend. Everything seems fine up until the reception. Afterwards, where my sister acts somewhat cold to me after I come up and congratulate her and her husband. Oh dear. My sister tells me that she doesn't approve of my dress and that it would be best if I left. Oh, shoot. I asked her what was wrong about it, as it fit both requirements she had set for the dresses worn. She told me that it looked as if I was attempting to upstage her at her own wedding with my dress of choice. Not wanting to cause a scene, my boyfriend and I opted not to argue and leave. On the way out, my parents asked where we were going, and I told them the situation. They seemed conflicted, with my mother agreeing that it looked like I was trying to be too showy at the wedding, where my father agreed with me that it wasn't too fancy of a dress, and my sister just seemed jealous. But now I'm wondering if I am the a-hole in this situation and need to apologize to my sister for it. Oh dear. That was really sweet of her to to immediately go, hey, maybe it was too flashy, maybe I should have whatever. Honestly though, this bridezilla stuff is obnoxious, right? It's like it's my day. I have to be the fairest in the land,
Yeah.
Heidi Klum has to leave the country because she can't be more beautiful within a 60-mile radius. You're married, it's done. Just let it go. You don't make your sister feel self-conscious. So, and I'm sure, yeah, not having to spend extra money on a dress was great. And it sounds like a lovely dress. I'd like to see a picture.
I know I need to see this dress now. Is it like Disney princess style? It doesn't sound like it, but I'm just curious to see what it looks like. But it does sound like a rivalry thing happening here too. And the fact that she was so willing to leave and not make a scene at her sister's wedding says a lot about her attitude towards it. It doesn't sound like she was intentionally trying to upstage her and wear something.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, if that was her intention, she would have made a scene about it and argued with her in front of everyone.
I'm going to go a step further and say the fact that her sister had dress requirements for people that weren't in the wedding party says something about her. That's not something that normal people do. You don't call out guests at your wedding to have requirements as to what kind of dress they wear. You're inviting them as guests. If Uncle Herschel happens to show up in his overalls, that's just Uncle Herschel. You know what I'm saying? Like, you invited these people, you knew who you're inviting. You don't get to tell them how they dress. Who do you think you are? Right? Because to be completely honest, I can't say every man, because there are some men that are weird and like this kind of crap. But most real men are not going to want to get married to a woman that acts like that. Was she going to be laying your clothes out for you every day before you go to work, telling you she doesn't approve of your jeans so you can't wear them anymore? Like, get out of here. And that's not even a measurable thing. You try to upstage your sister at her wedding. That's not something that you could, like, who decides what looks like upstaging?
It sounds like she's just been jealous of her for a long time. and
It
that-
does. She probably looked really hot in that dress, and her sister was upset that she looked so good. But like you said too, the fact that she was willing to just step out quietly with her boyfriend says a lot about her character too.
And the
you know?
dad said he thought it was that issue too, which says a lot
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. I don't think she's an a-hole at all. She was kind and accommodating every step of the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she even took her sister's requirements for her dress code and abide by them. You know, what the heck difference does it make after that? Plus, that was at the reception that her sister brought that up. It was after the wedding anyway. You know, it was already over. It just seems weird. Like you said, some kind of jealous rivalry thing going on, and she felt like, oh, maybe I'm not as pretty as my sister, and
Mhm.
I don't want her around because it makes me look worse. And like, get over yourself.
Got
Some
the
people are
man.
just gonna be prettier than you, and
Yeah.
that's just the way life is. You know, I'm not a model, so you know, I don't try to be. You know, accept it. You found a man that wanted to marry you despite you telling people what to wear to your wedding. That's a good accomplishment, right? I would have
got him locked down already.
I would have pulled a Gemma and told her to suck an egg.
There you go.
And then spilled the milkshake in the back of her car.
Yeah, I would have spilled the
There you go.
milkshake on her wedding dress and be like, well, there you go. It's not white anymore.
Now it's chocolate.
Oh,
You're welcome.
Oh,
Maybe a
He's
little bit
narcissistic.
narcissistic. Dare we
yeah,
say?
I say
probably.
so. It seems like that trait really comes out when it comes to weddings, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, it does.
It's like you put a magnifying glass on it when it comes time for anybody to get married. He's turned into this freak of nature.
Yeah, and what a sweetheart, the younger sister. Not only abiding by the rules like you guys said, but being willing to leave to make the older sister at least have a good time, quote unquote.
Right?